afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my tiny retirement. I'm Christine. Today I'm doing something just a little bit different. I'm back in the kitchen. I'm off the crutches. I'm back in the kitchen. The last time we went to pick up our Azure standard order, the gal, Tina, that is the coordinator of it, she has asked all of us to give her a recipe of how we use our Azure standard products, and so that we can share them amongst everybody. She is posting it to her website, which is Ruby on the Hill. I don't know if that's one word or not. I think it is, Ruby on the Hill. And she is going to put up all of the recipes. Well, I thought I would take advantage of that and do a video for all of you guys too, and show you how I cook, at least this particular product. This is, I love their chicken from Azure Standard. It is organic, free range. These are, this is not your grocery store chicken. It's a bit pricier. It's a bit pricier, but the flavor, this is Mary's free range chicken. It is air chilled. They are raised with no antibiotics ever, no preservatives. They are fed a vegetarian diet, which I don't really care about because chickens are sort of equal opportunists. They'll eat bugs and plants and all of that. They're not really vegetarians, but that's all right. That's all right. And no added hormones. So this is just plain chicken. I've thawed it out, and I will be opening this in a minute. But first of all, well, I like to do, whoops, I don't have my, okay, so the first thing I put in, and I cannot tell you how much I put in, because I never met, maybe I should measure. Let's measure. I'm going to use a tablespoon, just plain old tablespoon, and I will put, this is kosher salt, so I have 1, 2, I think 2 should do it. 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. We'll set that aside. And black pepper. And what do I have here? So what is that? Maybe a teaspoon? Teaspoon of black pepper. Teaspoon of black pepper. This is onion powder. And I like a good amount of onion powder, so what is that, a scant tablespoon of onion powder. Now what I'm doing, this is my seasoning. This is going to be my seasoning for the chicken. I'm going to roast it. This is garlic powder. And I also like a good amount of garlic powder. So again, what is that? A scant tablespoon garlic powder. Alright, now here's where it gets tricky. This is cayenne pepper. If you like cayenne pepper and you like that heat, use as much as you're comfortable using. I don't necessarily care for too much heat, but there is something about cayenne pepper. It imparts a different flavor, a different depth than just black pepper. It brings something out in the chicken. I don't know what, oh, pardon my dishwasher. Sorry, dishwasher's gone. So, I would use, that may even be too much. So what does that look like? A quarter teaspoon? Probably a quarter teaspoon. And here is my secret ingredient. This is bird rub from Gourmet Warehouse. It has everything in it that I would put in here anyway. Sage, marjoram, rosemary, it has some thyme, it has a little paprika, little brown sugar. I don't know that there's any salt. Let me check before I tell you that. Oh, a little ground mustard, a little basil. Yeah. So this has everything that I would be putting in separately. Ah, it smells better than any poultry roast. This I use a good amount of. I would probably even say, a big honkin' tablespoon. Alright? So we've got that. Where's my little itty bitty whisker? There it is. Not the cutest whisker you've ever seen. Whisker? Whisk? Alright. I'm pretty sure you can see this. And I just mix it until it's mixed really well. You see that? Easy. And this is probably more than I will need. Way more than I'll need. But we shall see. Alright, so now I'm gonna unwrap my chicken. There you go. So my chicken is out. These lovely little things. If I were making a gravy, if I was going to make a gravy with the chicken, I would cook these right in with it. But since I'm not, all right. Oh, that's a good-looking bird. That is a good-looking bird. Okay. Oops. Okay. What I need to do now is just sprinkling the outside of my bird is not going to be enough seasoning. It needs to be under the skin. So that's what I am doing right now. I am going to just, there is a little membrane in here. It's kind of gross, but there's a membrane in here, and I just put my hand all the way in. Can you see what I'm doing here? There's a divider here, but this one's giving me a hard time, so I'm going right in here. Now, for years and years, I always thought that if you loosened the skin of a chicken, that all the juices would run out and your chicken would dry out. As it turns out, it's exactly the opposite. It will not dry out because the skin is still there. And if you loosen it like this from the meat, you will end up with that beautiful, crunchy, crispy, golden skin that you want. So, do that. Do that. And I'm going to see about, and I'm trying to get down here under the legs too, without ripping the skin. And then I kind of go underneath, because there's a good amount of meat in there as well. Alright, so I have to go in on the other side. Going in on the other side now. There. Okay. Skin has been loosened. Oh, that just helped. Excellent. Right, whoops. Okay, we'll pay no attention to that. Alright. Good handful. Rub it all on the meat underneath. All underneath. Getting the legs underneath and give it a good massage. Oh, Look at that. Mitch has brought home cocktails. He's peeking in the window.
Ooh.
I know, this is your favorite. I'm going back to basics. Remember Tina
Yeah.
from Azure Standard? She's asked for recipes.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, well, I'm just going to go back to basics instead and something fancy
Yeah.
and show folks how to just cook a basic chicken.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, a lot of people don't put stuff under the skin either.
Well, this is how I do it.
Yeah. Got more stuff.
Okay, he's got more stuff. He has gotten chicken feet. See how much I'm going to have left? All right, now I am flipping it over and I am going into the bag. Going into the bag. Under that leg. And the skin on a real chicken is a lot tougher than you would think. And by tough, I don't mean tough, I mean not as delicate as you would think. Alright, so here I go back to the back of the other side, and around the back of this leg. And I'm also sort of tenderizing this.
Step in your shy. Oops.
Alright, so you can see I did tear the skin a little bit, but that's alright. That won't even matter. And whatever is on my hands, that is a lot of seasoning left. Get into the nooks and crannies. Yeah, I've got about 10 times more seasoning than I need. Alright. Being careful not to touch anything else because my hands are contaminated. Now right here, you can truss up your chicken if you want to, and it's probably a good idea to, oh, you know what I didn't get? The cavity. Oh my goodness, I didn't even get inside the cavity. And I am just rubbing that underneath and on the back. Okay, season this thing right up. Alright, so right here, if I weren't so lazy, today I'm kind of lazy, and my hip is bothering me a little bit, you could just get some kitchen twine and truss this little booger up like that. I'm not going to do that. I am going to tuck my little things in so they're not flopping all over the place, though. Oh, looks like they're going to want to flop. Flop away. Alright, I've washed my hands. I am going to drizzle just a bit. Just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. This goes into a 325. I rarely cook over 325. The slower the better, because you don't want to shock your meat. I find that it cooks more tender, a little juicier, if you cook it a little lower. And I know, I'm going to check this in about an hour, but I also know that it's probably going to take more like an hour and 20 minutes at 325. So in we go. And I'll be back with you in an hour. It has been an hour. My timer has gone off. Oh, oven needs to be cleaned. Oh. Can you hear the crispy? Hear that sizzling. No, you know what? It's not quite. It's not quite. After touching it and checking it, This should be, the wings should be moving just a little better. The leg should be a little more free moving, which means it's probably not quite done at the bone, right at the bone. I am going to give this another 15 to 20 minutes. Let's say 15, again at 325, and we'll be back to check it. Okay, it has been, ooh, steam coming out. Oh yeah, that looks better. There's a lot more juice. I can tell because, see all the juice in there? I can tell by the amount of juice in there that it's done. Oh yeah, see how that's moving nicely? Whoops, sorry. And yeah, this has a little more give. That has a little more give. This is a done chicken. That's right.
And action.
Action. Here it comes.
Waiting for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
Well, here we go. Look at this.
Ooh,
Look at
that's
this.
a close-up.
Oh, even Gerard is here.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to do a little, since I don't have a gravy baster. I did, but, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let this rest and the juices come back up into it for probably a good 15 minutes, maybe even 20. And just to make sure that I can keep it hot, I'm going to put a cloth over it, and that will help insulate it and keep it hot as well. And all we're having is this. I'm having a very difficult, oh, you know why?
Are you videotaping that?
I am. So it's right on film.
You lost your mind.
Where is that joint?
Yep. Oh, bless you, little boy.
Oh, that's not a sneeze.
That's where I say, bless you, Tiny Tim.
That is not a sneeze. That is a gimme right now. It needs nothing. It is perfectly seasoned. I'm doing a bad no-no. But you know what? This is a chef's prerogative. So, it is as simple as that to roast a basic chicken. You can put whatever aromatics you want into the carcass before you cook it. Sometimes I will do lemon and like bang up a whole head of garlic, cut the lemon up, don't just shove it in there whole, but lemon and orange is delicious in the carcass. Put some garlic in there, put a little onion in there, put some herbs if you want, and it's basically the same. That's pretty much how you roast a basic chicken, and this is the Azure standard chicken that we got. So Tina, he is up on his hind legs begging and barking at me. We don't respond to that one. So Tina, I'm going to be emailing you and sending you the link to this video. Post away and enjoy. You will never have a better chicken than a roaster from Azure Standard. I can guarantee that. Unless you raise it yourself. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.